All right, everybody. Welcome, 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 and thank you so much for joining today. If you didn't already know, you are here at Inside Affinity, a live product demonstration of Affinity's relationship intelligence platform. So, folks, normally what we like to do is we like to make these a little bit interactive. You do have access into the webinar chat, and you do have the ability to come off mute and ask any questions at any time. But in the interest of time, we will dig into the actual demonstration pretty fast, and we will pretty much fill up all 30 minutes. We'll see if we have some time at the very end for a question and answer. Nevertheless, I'll kick it off with a quick introduction. My name is Kyle Turner. I lead our solutions engineering team here at Affinity. I've been here for a little bit over a year and a half, and I'm out of the Dallas, Texas area. So all that being said, I'll go ahead and kick it off with our demonstration here. All right, folks. So when you look around the market today, you probably notice that we're in a very competitive, very fast-moving environment, right? And it almost feels like the days of easy deals are kind of gone. They're a thing of the past, right? And the data that firms actually need to find that next outlying investment is often fragmented. It's fragmented across personal inboxes, it's fragmented across legacy spreadsheets, it maybe even be in outdated CRMs and things like that. And that's why most of you guys are here today. You guys are looking for something better. You guys deserve something better. So during the demonstration today, I'd like for you guys to keep an eye out for 4 key differentiators in the CRM market. The first one is going to actually be automated activity capture. See if you can actually catch how Affinity saves hundreds, if not thousands, of hours of manual data entry for firms just like yours every single year. Next, I'm going to show you data enrichment. I want you guys to see how it blends automation and also research across dozens of data providers to deliver hard-to-find data points and put them all into that single source of truth. You'll also hear me call out relationship intelligence a number of times. From our lens, a CRM should not just be an admin tool, right? It should be a strategic system that actively surfaces who you know, how you know them, and how to act on those relationships to help your firm drive better outcomes. And then last, throughout the platform, you'll see how easy and flexible it is to use. We know that analysts and associates have different workflows and priorities when compared to partners or IR teams. So why be limited to a static and boring platform, right? We give each user the ability to customize and build Affinity to meet their own specific needs, user by user. Folks, these 4 key differentiators are why over 3,000 leading VC and PE firms have already switched to Affinity, right? Their results include improved deal flows, no more crossed wires, extra time to do other things other than data entry. And we actually help those firms boost their reputation and actually get more done as well. So let's dig into that Affinity demonstration so you can kind of see what we're doing and what our customers are doing every single day. What I want to do first, though, is kind of want to set a quick stage here. And maybe in this scenario, our firm has finalized a big raise, right? We've got fresh capital to put to work, and we need a CRM to help us out with that, right? When we think about the roles and responsibilities in the firm, analysts and associates are already working their pipeline of potential founders and portcos. So they're looking for a CRM to help them map out which companies are their best fit for their funding strategy. They also need a tool that's going to help them with their outreach efforts. And they want to make sure that everything is like super organized so that when partners are ready, they have a solid roster of opportunities to dive into. Now, on the other side, the partners and IR teams, they're doing something completely different, right? They're working to figure out where to deploy this capital first. They need a CRM that tells them which relationships need nurturing. They want to know which founders and bankers they need to reconnect with. And they need to know how to best position the fund's resources to deploy that dry powder effectively, right? So again, you can see all the different roles and responsibilities within that firm. But let's log into Affinity and actually see what they're actually seeing. So no matter what your role is, the first time that you log into Affinity, it's going to look very similar to this. Associates might head down here to their favorites, and they might start to dive into one of their workflows or their lists down here. So maybe they're going to the master deal flow pipeline, which is just right here up at the top. But partners may be headed a different direction. They may be sifting through all their organizations or all their people, meaning their entire network, to specify and find a certain group of people based on a certain criteria as well, right? If you're an LP, or excuse me, not an LP, if you're an IR team, investor relations, you might be looking at a list of LPs. Or again, maybe you're a partner and you're looking at different operating partners too. Again, like you've got a number of different places that you could be going. And again, you can it's a choose your own adventure, pick and choose what matters to you. Now, let's go back up here to something that I alluded to at the very beginning, and it's kind of that whole network up here. This is where that first key differentiator, automated activity capture, really comes into play, right? Affinity is actually going to connect to your email and your calendar and build a full Rolodex of every relationship your firm has. So that means that the system did all the data entry for you, right? Taking the time to build out a company profile or a person profile or whatever, that becomes a thing of the past. And again, saving you hundreds of hours per user per year. So in this case, I'm pretending that I'm a partner and I'm about to head to New York, and I want to invite all the founders in New York to a quick coffee chat, right? I want to see how they're doing and maybe if they're looking for an investment, right? So the way it is today is a lot of GPs out there will drop a Slack to the team, to their analysts and their associates, and say, "Hey, send me a list of all of your all of your founders in New York. Tell me a little bit about them. I want to reach out to them." And it takes a number of days for people to get back and to kind of craft that list, right? With Affinity, because you have access to the entire firm's network, you can do that with just doing some quick filtering. So again, I'm looking for founders, and I'm looking for them in the New York area. So just like this with a couple of filters. I have taken my list from over 8,000 people to only 17 people. And then I can even take it a step further. Instead of me having to go back to my email and that Slack list that my team sent me of all of these different founders, I can actually do it in one quick swoop. Send that bulk email. I've got a template already created for my New York trip. And in just about 75 seconds, I was able to identify all founders in the New York area and drop them an email to meet up. It was literally that easy. Now, I'm going to close this out and go back, and we're going to switch gears for just a moment here. Let's pretend like I was that associate and I'm logging in for the first time as well. Again, I might not be heading to my network here, but instead I'm going to be working my master deal flow pipeline. Now, again, the first thing to call out is that I went to a whole different place. I didn't go up to my network up at the top. I don't have to sift through all those 11,000 plus organizations or those 8,000 plus people to keep track of the deals that I'm working on. I can actually create a subset of my entire network here, which we call a list. And so in this case, I'm looking at my organization's 120, or my firm's 129 different organizations that we're currently considering to invest in. And I've also customized this view just for myself. I can see the things that are important to me. I can quickly see that the top here are all new leads. I can see the status of some that are in early diligence or deep diligence. I can even see where we've passed as well. And again, I've put that column in there for me. I've already also added in the last meeting column here too, because that's what matters to me as well. I want to know the last time we've talked with them or met with them. Or maybe I want to just know their location, or maybe some Crunchbase data like their investment stage too. This is my personal list, but again, you can create a list to be however you want it to be. And so you can customize this and add or remove as many of these columns as you want to. This includes not only Affinity data, but it also includes data from other sources like Crunchbase, Dealroom, or PitchBook as well. And so as you select these columns, you can actually add them to your view, and then you can drag and drop these around to put them in your own order to make it work best for you as well. Now, something else that you're noticing here is the different colors of columns here. We've got some green, we've got some black, we've got some blue here. The green one is the most important one that you should be focused on right now. And that's going to be any column that is enriched with data. So now you're wondering, okay, well, what exactly is data enrichment? What exactly is enriched data? Well, this is where automation and research across those dozens of data providers deliver all of those hard to find data points into this single source of truth. So let's say that I was ready to add in a new organization. I'm ready to add in deal.com here. And as I add this in, notice this system is actually looking through our automated activity capture and data sources to fill out all of these columns here. So without me having to spend time to research deal.com, you'll notice that Affinity has already drafted a description for me. Without me having to go to the group Slack and say, hey, does anybody know anybody at deal.com? Affinity has already told me where my connections are too. And again, without me having to go sift through other platforms like Crunchbase to see what investment stage they're in, Affinity has already surfaced this information for me as well. This is where firms, just like yours, report that they save about 200 hours per user per year with Affinity. Imagine all that you could do with that extra time, right? Now, speaking of time, it is tough to remember to reach out to all of these 100+ deals, but we want to do our best to keep them warm, right? That's normal, right? You want to make sure that you keep these relationships fresh. Well, Affinity can actually help with that. And we have the power of what we call triggers here. So what I can do here is I can set up a reminder to that anytime 60 days has passed since any last email or meeting, to go ahead and send me a notification. This means that I don't have to manually remember any of this. It will automatically do it for me. All right. Now, keep in mind that at this point, and again, fitting for today's schedule, I'm only showing you the master deal flow pipeline. Imagine that IR team might be using a list to be tracking their LPs and their relationships with LPs. Perhaps a partner is tracking relationships with operating partners. The options are truly endless, and you can build out as many of these different lists as fitting to your workflows and whatever works for you. Now, coming back to that master deal flow pipeline, I just want to kind of move along into what a firm might be doing on a weekly basis here. We've already done a lot with lists by adding in that new organization here, and again, the system doing all of this enriched data for us. But we want it to work even harder for us, and we want it to help us during our Monday meeting. While any list can be converted to a board view, I've specifically created this one for our investment team meeting or our Monday meeting here. So without even going any further or to any other platform, I simply switch over to that view, and I can see every single opportunity that I'm working on and some general information that might help me pitch the company that I found to my investment team. And if at any point the investment team is a go and says, yeah, let's continue working on it, instead of me having to go update a spreadsheet or some other platform, I can simply drag and drop this to that next stage here as well. Now, let's say that we're in this Monday meeting and we're talking about deal.com, and maybe a VP asks about their competitive landscaping or something like that. I can simply click on this tile here and open up a tear sheet. I can go right down to industry insights, and I can see the 10 companies that are competing against deal.com here. I can even see enriched data here as well as I scroll over, and it's got all of this additional information here for me. Now, let's say, okay, well, I like this. Sounds good. When was the last time that we connected with them? Well, we just scroll down a little bit further and we can actually get to our activity timeline here as well. I can easily see that the last time we communicated with them was back in November. And again, I'm not having to go to my calendar or my email or somewhere else to go find this information. It is right here, nice and helpful, easy for me to access right during my Monday meeting here. Now, of course, we take this to the next level too, right? Let's say that that GP says, I think I've heard deal.com before. I feel like maybe we already know this. Well, this is where our connections tab comes into play. And he's right. I can actually click and drill into this, and I can see that we have a number of people that actually already communicate with Nikki Osborne, the founder of deal.com. I can even see that Shelley Walsh here has the strongest relationship with Nikki Osborne. This is what we call Affinity's relationship intelligence. Using the power of automated activity capture, Affinity actually calculates a relationship score based on recency and frequency of how these folks are communicating. So again, this removes that need of waiting back to hear back from your peers after you send that Slack of, hey, does anybody know anybody at deal.com or whatever. But taking it to another level, this also removes that those crossed wires, right? So instead of me not knowing that Shelly has a relationship with Nikki and then me reaching out to Nikki, who then says, I'm already talking to Shelly, kind of embarrassing there, I can actually come directly here, see that there's an existing connection within my firm, and then I can go directly to Shelly and ask, hey, how do you know Nikki? Do you know where her mind is at for an upcoming investment or something like that? But again, eliminates the crosswire completely. Now, let's fast forward and get into an even deeper place here. Let's say that we're in this Monday meeting and everybody's keen on deal.com. And then all of a sudden, the managing director asks, why should we invest in deal.com? Well, I can click into my company profile to take it to a deeper level than even the tear sheet here, and I can access Deal Assist. In just 4 clicks, I can actually have Affinity do that work for me and review old notes and PDFs to generate a perfect answer of why we should invest in deal.com here. Now, again, this sure beats having to pre-write all of these thoughts about all the organizations you might want to be presenting. It beats that in-meeting scramble to craft a quick answer off the top of your head. And of course, this is a nice, easy answer to read out to the group, but I can also copy it and paste it and put it into an investment memo or something like that. Simple and easy there as well. Now, on top of that, if there was some other sort of question that I was wanting to ask, we've got a list of other templated questions here, but treat this kind of like your own GPT, where you can actually ask it any question that you want. And again, it's going to go look through those notes and those PDFs to surface a great answer for you. All right. So since we are here on the company profile page, let's kind of shift out of that Monday meeting and go back to that place wherever we're working deals. And when I say wherever we're working deals, that means that it could be at your desk, at your computer. It could mean that you're on the couch on your laptop. It could mean that you're on the road on your mobile device. Really what we want to lean into here is the fact that we can actually access all of this information no matter where we work. And I'll show you a little bit about that while we dig a little bit deeper into the power of notes as well. So when we think about note-taking, a lot of firms kind of describe it as more of an admin task than a benefit. But we know notes are so important because it kind of tracks that relationship and the communications that you're having with those different organizations or those different people. So at Affinity, we've done our best to kind of move firms like yours away from that feeling and give them the ability to add notes, again, wherever they're at. So this means that users could be in the CRM, and we're right here in the company profile page or the person profile, and we want to type in that note. We may want to add in a template of some sort. Maybe we want to add in a picture or a hyperlink or whatever it is, tag a coworker, whatever it is, we can add in that note right here. But sometimes we're not always in our CRM. Sometimes we're out surfing the web, right? And we've been looking at these companies that we've seen in recent newsletters. And it's a lot to be clicking through all of these different tabs to learn more about that company. So that's why we invite Affinity's Pathfinder along with you as well. This is where you can get everything that you do in Affinity, but right here on this side panel. So there's all that enriched data that we've already talked about earlier. I could see those connections as well. And I can even add a note here as well too. So I don't have to go back to my CRM just to see this information or enter this information. It even follows you along in your email. We have an email plugin for Outlook and also Gmail. So again, here we are. We're in my email. I got this email from Jared Schuster. I'm looking through a little bit about this company. I can see all of the enriched data. I can see their connections once again, and I can even add a note here from this panel as well. Again, we put it so Affinity can be wherever you select to work, not just limited to always being back in the CRM. And the one other thing that we said that I don't have on my screen today, but of course it follows along with you on your mobile device. So there is an Affinity application. So whether you're at a conference or a networking event or whatever it is, you can immediately access your entire network. You can access all that enriched data. You can access all that automated activity capture to see where those relationships are. And you can see all of that data and add those notes directly from your mobile phone. So you don't have to remember to do that when you get back to the office or back to your desk or something like that. So let's take notes a step further even. Let's take it so that you don't have to do data entry at all, right? That's a big one. So you guys know there's Affinity's note taker out there where Affinity's note taker will just simply take the notes for you. You invite it along to your Zoom call, your Google Meet call, your Teams call, whatever it is, and let Affinity do the heavy working for you, the heavy lifting for you. And then within about 5 minutes of your call ending, Affinity will draft up a summary of the meeting. They'll put in key highlights, they'll put in action items. It'll even provide a transcript for you too, so you can go back and reference that as needed. This completely removes the admin burden of documenting notes after the call. It makes it so easy. And taking it a step further, you might be thinking, oh yeah, Zoom's got something like that. Oh yeah, Teams has got something like that. And you're absolutely right. They do have those things. But where Affinities takes it up a level is that we are purpose built for private capital. So it understands those crazy acronyms and those crazy terms that we use on a day-to-day basis during those calls, and it can plug it into the notes directly for you, right? So again, we touched on this at the very beginning. Taking notes is an integral part of relationship building. And with Affinity, we actually want to give you as many options as possible to make it as easy as possible. So that includes the note taker and also the things like Affinity's Pathfinder extensions so they can meet you wherever you're working. All right. Now I'm going to pause for just a quick second just for a recap to just kind of share about how far we've come, right? We started by using the power of automated activity capture and data enrichment to reduce data entry and get organized by workflows. Then we talked about the use of Affinity as that single source of truth to drive impactful and effective meetings with your investment team or whoever else you might be meeting with. And we even leaned into how Affinity's AI tools like Deal Assist and Note Taker will increase productivity and help Affinity make you more effective in your role as well and reduce that feeling of administrative burden. The last thing I want to do is kind of talk about reporting, right? And this is where we actually get a lot of wows from folks like VPs, directors, and partners as well. And this is because Affinity offers no-code dashboards that can actually become customized based on different roles or different workflows or just different goals altogether, right? So imagine I'm a VP at a PE firm. I am juggling multiple deals and I need a clear snapshot of which sources are driving the most deals, or where my strongest banker relationships are, right? I've got those tiles right here on my pipeline dashboard. So here I can see the number of ops by source of deal. I can also see my number of ops by bankers. This is a snapshot of that. I can click to drill down and get more information if I need to. Perhaps I'm a director and I've been catching this weird trend where it seems like deals are getting way too far in the process before we pass on them. We've got a tile for that as well. When are we passing, right? And so I can easily see that if this number were to skyrocket, that we've got now 48 in deep diligence before we're passing on it, and this is my number one uh, time when we are status when we're passing, that's probably a problem, right? We probably need to address that, let the staff know, do some enablement, and get it so that we're passing a little bit sooner in the process than wasting all that time, right? Again, this is where all this reporting helps us out. But maybe I'm also a partner, right? And I'm a partner and I want a clean and simple way to report my pipeline back to stakeholders and investors. I don't need all the showy dashboard stuff. I need something simple and easy. I could create an entirely different dashboard for that, just like this. Simple and elegant, easy to read, and exactly what some of those partners want. And don't worry, we all have them. We've all heard of them. Those GPs or those partners that don't necessarily want to be living in the CRM, but want the reports every week. No worries. We can actually export any of our reports or dashboards as a PDF or a .csv or a PNG, and just set that up to send every Monday, and then you forget about it, right? It's nice and easy. You can even print these if they're wanting them on their desk. It's kind of you choose on how you want to do that delivery. This type of reporting has literally changed the game, right? It has removed the requirement of in-house report writing. It has removed that requirement of hiring external consultants, and instead it replaced it with customizable templates, purpose-built for the private capital space. All right, folks. So what you've seen today is how firms are using Affinity, and they're using it to replace fragmented systems, right? Like we talked about earlier. They're replacing it with that single source of truth that actually works the way private capital teams actually work. And if your goal is to move faster, make better decisions, and spend more time building relationships instead of managing data, Affinity was absolutely built for you. Here again are those 4 key differentiators that we touched upon, in case you want to grab a screenshot, but I know that we have some takeaways in the webinar form. If you do have any other questions, of course, reach out to us. Otherwise, I do want to thank everybody for your time for joining today's webinar. Thanks so much.